we want to talk about something that has to do with like Jesus being in the tomb and the way things are. And if we think about this, we could say simply that uh, Jesus did not suffer corruption or decomposition, or as we know, the bodies that of any dead animal or human begins to rot. The same thing with plants. So that didn't happen to Jesus. But if we think about it, the world did. The world has suffered a lot of corruption. It has deteriorated ever since what we are told in Genesis 3 about the fall. And if we think about the whole of the Bible, the creation of Eden was in God's heavenly will, and we're supposed to be living in God's heavenly will, but the whole of the Bible was written, with the exception of Jesus' teachings and some of what's in Revelation, is part of talking about the corruption of this world. The world is not living in God's heavenly will, and it hasn't been. And the Bible talks about all of this, and we have to be careful what we read in the Bible, because if we don't look at it from God's creation and heavenly intent, then we might follow the evil in the Bible, which unfortunately a lot of people do. Like, for an example, an eye for an eye, the wars that we have, all of the violence, none of that is part of God's heavenly will. He created a peaceful kingdom that reflected the way things are in heaven. And that's the way we're supposed to live. And Jesus coming out of the tomb, with the exception of being in this transition stage between a spiritual and physical building, a physical body, is an example of what's happening in the earth and what it needs to change to. And the only way we can change this world is by living in God's heavenly will. Now, according to what we're told, that's not ever going to completely happen. But we can make a positive difference which will save people. And it's not going out and asking people to say a sinner's prayer. It's convincing people to live in God's heavenly will, because there's a lot of people that say the sinner's prayer and claim they're born again, and then they go and live their life in the world. That's not what we're supposed to do. If we are truly born of the Spirit, then we're going to live in the heavenly will of God and not in the corruption. Amen?